Do you have a dream guest? Like if you could get anyone on your show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. I love that question. I should always come prepared with that question. But like, if I'm just talking off cuff, right now it would be great to sit down with Madonna to talk about Madam X and to talk about her life. Because at the end of the day, I think what the woman has done in her life, especially for gay people and for AIDS, and is so interesting. And there's so much fabric there that I always want to, I get into like these conversations with her. It'd be fantastic to have, I'd like to have some really great sports people, like if like LeBron James was on the show. It'd be interesting to understand like what makes him who he is. I'd love to have, I mean, Michelle Obama would be amazing. I want to have, Anna Wintour. I'm a huge fan of Anna Wintour, and I just think she's an incredible person. And I think, I've gotten to know her over the years, and she's one of the most interesting and to people's surprise, warm when she's at, because I think people think of her as very austere because she kind of is.
Yeah.
So her, I'd like to have, I mean, there's so many, but like them and any super really sexy hot guy is always fun. Movie star.
That's always good too.
Well, of course, I don't know.
Well,
Chalamet, I'd love to have Timothy Chalamet. I'd love to.
Timothy Chalamet I would not mind that myself. Well, I was going to say, if you didn't say Madonna, I was going to say, why not? That would be my guess for what you would have said. I mean, I walk, the world revolves around Madonna as far as I'm concerned. So we do have that in common. You know Madonna, your husband knows Madonna. Like, what is it like? This is why I think Lunch with Bruce is so great, because like Anna Wintour is not going to do a podcast. She will probably do your podcast on Sirius. Well, Madonna is not going to do a podcast. I believe that she will do Lunch with Bruce on Sirius. I do. I really, you like know
with a lot of humility, I will receive that and say there's like with no expectation. I do think I've found myself at dinner with them. I found myself in intimate moments of just conversation. I think Madonna is incredible. We've made out twice, just FYI. So I feel like we had a little like thing.
So jealous.
Yeah. And, I do think that they feel safe, hopefully. And I think that's really sort of what's special about Lunch with Bruce. And I think why on podcast, it's so exciting because now it's like international, it's global. I love when I get these feedbacks from people like in Great Britain or people like in other countries. And I'm like, oh my God, like people are listening to this now. So yeah, that they would be great. And like I said, it's not a gotcha. So what someone knows is it's not a gotcha. And because it's live tape, if someone wakes up the next day and says, I really wish I hadn't said that, we take it out. It's like, we're here to like create love and celebrate your life, not make you feel bad about anything.
Totally. And like the whole thing with Daniel Craig, which just went viral with, like the gay bar and like he feels like you didn't try to get him.
What happened to I don't know.
Well, the Jennifer Aniston thing went viral, and the Daniel Craig thing, I think because it's your newest episode at this moment, it's getting legs. I mean,
His story is a good story.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't looking for it before chatting with you today since like 8 a.m. and it just an hour ago popped up. And I was like, oh, well, I'm speaking to him in like an hour about this very podcast. So I think it's like starting to get legs.
Cool.
But it doesn't seem like a gotcha moment. I think that's what's so great about it.
No. And when I said it, and we really end the show with that night that he and I experienced, and it's so lovely how he talks about it. And it really became a thing. Like, I mean, the National Enquirer picked it up. This is years ago. His publicist called the next day. Brian came home from London. He's like, what happened? Daniel calls me at 7 a.m. that next morning and is like, I think the National Enquirer. And like he says on the show, we were caught, but we were doing nothing wrong. We were just friends celebrating. And yes, we are affectionate, so we hug each other and stuff like that. And I love how what he talks about loving gay bars. And this was certainly not the first gay bar he went to, because he is a friend in a profound way to the LGBTQ plus community tremendously. He is one of these bastion of heterosexual sexiness that is actually so confident in who he is that none of that matters. And he talks about when he goes into straight bars, and I've heard him say this before, guys are very macho. So they see James Bond walk in and they want to, like he says, dick swinging. He's like, I don't need that. Like, I don't want to get into a fight.
Just give me my drink, man, right?
Give me my drink and maybe kiss. When that guy said to me in the gay bar, are you his manager? I said, and I don't know if you've listened to this, but this guy comes up to me and he says, oh, are you his manager? And I lose it on the guy. I'm like, his manager. We're in a gay bar and you're not asking me if I'm sleeping with him? Like, what?
You're like, wait a second, I'm so offended right now. Like,
completely.
It's funny. It's really funny. What's the best thing about just being around the icon that is Madonna? I mean, you've been to her party, she's been to your parties.
I mean, there was a party we had at the house years ago, and I literally carried her coat on my arm, like draped over the whole night, the whole night. What is the best thing is when you grow up and someone has such an impact on you and you don't know them, like she had on me as I was coming of age in the 80s, and then in the early 90s, really living in LA. She was in LA. There was I was kind of close enough where there was a club called Club Louie, and there was Friday, Saturday nights, like, oh, Madonna was there, but Sandra Bernhard was there, Ingrid Caceres, the whole little group was there, Herb Ritts was there. It was a very special moment in Los Angeles. When you then meet them and you are not disappointed, and she's everything you're gonna expect. She's fun, she's nasty, she's quick-witted, and and that, to me, it was like, oh my God, when I found myself really dancing with her one night for the first time when I met her, and like dancing, I'm like, you're dancing with Madonna. To this day, it still is a huge thing. I don't see her that often anymore. We did have dinner a couple months ago at a friend's house. It was just 6 of us. And I just feel like the woman just keeps trying to, bring art. And I know that she's kind of controversial, and what people are judging what she's done to herself physically and all the craziness that's going on, but she lives by her own rules. And so I just feel like she's not disappointed me, nor would she care. But she is still a huge fan. Like, I'm going to show you this. So this picture was taken, if you can see it. That's a picture of Madonna kissing an Oscar, and it was taken by Andy Cohen, I might add. And she's holding, coincidentally, Rachel Weisz's Oscar. And we were at a restaurant, and we just there are all these special moments that I've been fortunate. And Jess Cagle says, what's interesting about Lunch with Bruce, and I say this